is the Brenda Lee Show. The Brenda Lee Show.
Hey, welcome to the Brenda Lee Show. I am beyond excited to have you here. Hey, listen, you guys asked, we listened. I have been asked multiple times to do a podcast. It is just something that had not been on my radar. And I woke up the other day and I was like, it's time for this to happen. People are hungry. People are eager to get more, right? So many people enjoy the tidbits that we do on social media. And like I said, people were wanting more. So this is what this show is going to be about, the Brenda Lee Show. And it is not about me. It is about you. It is how we can equip you to be the best leader. And we've got a couple different companies. We've got a leadership development company that we do corporate leadership for. We also have divorce resilience that we help executives and high achievers get over their divorce and collapse time and do that in a much more efficient and faster way than what counselors can do. Hate to say that out loud, but it's the fact. And so this show here is going to be a mix of all of it, right? We are a firm believer. I am a firm believer that everybody's a leader, okay? And this is one thing that we deal with all the time in the leadership development company, Modig Leadership, where we send surveys out to people, the companies that we're going to work with. And one of the questions is, how would you rate yourself as a leader? And so often people respond back and say, well, I'm not a leader. I'm not in a leadership role, so I rate myself a 0. You guys, I have news for you. Every single person on the planet is a leader. Every single one of us. If you have influence over anyone, you are a leader, okay? So it's time for you to step into that space, step into that role. And the only way that you can lead well is when you're leading yourself first, okay? You can only give or get what you have for yourself. So if you're not self-disciplined, if you don't have integrity, if you don't have the character of somebody that you would like to follow, I can assure you that your teammates and your employees and your coworkers, they don't want to follow you either, okay? So we are huge here that we operate at a standard of excellence. That is one of the foundational values of all of my companies is we operate out of excellence. And it gets difficult and it is hard sometimes. And there's days that I don't want to operate that way. There's days that I want to just throw the towel in and I want to pull the covers over my head and stay in bed. But the reality is the more disciplined we get at keeping ourselves at a high standard. And the more we focus our community around keeping them at a high standard, and we only allow people into our space that are operating at a high standard, the more that you can achieve that and the more people will follow you. Okay. And so this show is going to be all things life, how to get you to be your best, how to perform your best. Some of the hacks that I've used that have helped me collapse time over the years, right? Where I've read all the books, I've done all the podcasts, or listened to all the podcasts. I've done it all, right? Like I've studied everything, studied with neuroscientists for crying out loud. And the reality is there is a system and there is methods and there is hacks that can help you achieve success much faster, much sooner, and with much less ease and angst, right? Like it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard, okay? Because here's the reality. 70 to 80% of our thoughts are negative, depending on the study that you look at. 90 to 95% of those are on repeat every single day. Well, I don't know about you, but I want to flip that. And I actively choose to flip that statistic on the daily, right? I am not going to wallow in 70 to 80% negative thoughts. I'm just not. I choose to operate at a different level and I expect those around me to do the same, okay? And so when we lift ourselves up, we're lifting the whole of humanity around us at the same time, okay? So we're going to give you hacks. We're going to give you tools. We're going to give you skills. And, let me give you this mindset shift, mindset hack straight away. Number one, the best mindset shift that you can do is gratitude. When we step into gratitude and we find ourselves kind of spiraling into this negative, and listen, we have had a lot to be negative about over the last 3+ years. I mean, I'm really overdue in getting this out there to help you guys. And I apologize in that regard. And I'm so excited to give you these skills because we've gone through hell and back in the last 3 years as a world, right? Nobody has been immune to what's been going on in our world in the last several years. And so when we shift our focus, though, off of the mess and all the negative things that are happening and what might happen in the future and things that we can't control, and we start focusing on things that we can control, one thing we can control is gratitude and how grateful we are for the things that we have in our life. Now, the reality is though, is I don't know, if people talk all the time about positive affirmation, and that is not the same. That is absolutely not the same. Positive affirmations do not work unless the emotions are tied in. And you're going to hear me talk a ton about emotional intelligence. And you want to know why? 90 to 95% of our decisions are based out of emotions. When you're leading a company, when you're leading a family, when you're taking care of your kids, when you're in having to do constructive conflict and you're having to discipline an employee or have an awkward conversation with a neighbor, whatever it might be, when you have emotional intelligence, you're able to maintain your cool. You're able to have boundaries and you're able to say what you need to say, but you're not flying off the handle, nor are you stuffing all of your emotions and pretending they don't exist. Because here's the reality. There's two levels of emotional dysregulation. Emotion, you think of, everybody kind of thinks is that emotional person, like, oh my gosh, they're so emotionally immature. Okay, that's true. They have emotional dysregulation, but the person who stuffs everything and never deals with it, they are just as emotionally dysregulated. Those are the people that fly off the handle, that go in and do school shootings, that go and commit suicide, and that just freaking destroy other people, or bombings or whatever it might be. Those are the people that do that because they stuffed and stuffed and stuffed until they finally freaking explode. We can only carry and take so much. Our body can only take it, right? Our emotions, our health is directly linked to our emotions. And we'll get into all of this as we go further into episodes, but our emotions can literally, physically cause us illness, right? It's dis-ease. We're out of ease. We're not dealing with our emotions. We always say we have to feel to heal. So you've got to feel the emotions and then you can heal and move on from them, okay? And so this is also the same truth when we're talking about doing affirmations or your gratefuls, right? You've got to tie emotion to it. The brain is a goal achieving machine. I think Tony Robbins said that. I can't remember who exactly said that, but it's fact. The brain is a goal achieving machine. Where focus goes, your life goes, okay? The more you focus on the negative, the more negative you're going to create in your life. The more you focus on the positive and the joyful things that you have in life, the more of that you're going to see and you're going to create. So the number one way to do that is gratefulness. And please, with gratefulness comes please and thank yous, right? Like my kids, people talk all the time about how respectful my kids are, and it's because I teach them please and thank you. They always say please and thank you. I was just doing a tour of a school here just a couple weeks ago, and it shocked me. There was probably about 12 of us adults. It shocked me how many adults walked through this door that this little 12-year-old girl was holding open for us, and none of them said thank you. And I just thought, holy crap, like what is our society gotten to? This poor little girl was so excited and eager to help, and she was eager to be there and support the adults, and this was her school, and she was all, like showing it off and super excited. And nobody said thank you to her. When I walked through and I watched this, I literally got down to her face level and I just looked at her and I said, thank you so much. I said, I have watched you and I've seen how excited you have been about opening the door for us and serving us. And it is so appreciated. And she freaking lit up like a Christmas tree. You guys, like not only did she feel good, but I thought, you're welcome, adults, right? Like I felt better that somebody finally stepped up and took care of the needs and the desire for this little girl to serve everyone. Okay. So like please and thank yous are a huge thing that we have gotten away from so much. It just, like I said, it just floored me. None of these adults told that little girl, thank you. It just blew my mind, right? So when we do our thank yous, our pleases, our gratefuls, we've got to have our emotion tied into it. We can't just be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, right? Like think about it. If somebody says to you, cool, thanks. Is that the same as me getting down and looking her in the eye and saying, thank you so much. I really appreciate, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I see you. Because as human beings, you guys, we want to be seen. We want to be known. We want to be heard. Okay. And so when we tie emotion into this, we start redirecting our life, and then we're in a positive manner. And then we're also able to give that to all the people around us. Okay. None of those other adults gave her any joy, any affirmation, anything, right? And we're not seeking other people's affirmation. I don't give a shit what people think of me or don't think of me. That's not what this is about, right? But we do desire community. We are people that need community. We need people, but we need the right people. We need good people around us. And I want you guys to be that. And so that is why I'm here. This is why I do what I do. I am beyond. People say all the time, they're like, one thing we can't argue with you, Brenda, it is clear you absolutely, positively are passionate about what you do, and you absolutely love what you do. And it is fact. You guys, I have gone through more shit, and I'm not going to get into it here today. We'll unpack my stories and how they can apply to you to encourage you so that you can get up and out of whatever situation you're in. Because let me tell you, I am 43 years old and I have been through more crap in my life than most adults go through in their lifetime. I have had my own mother betray me. I had a horrific 14-year marriage. We're 5 years out of marriage and we're still having legal debates and all kinds of crap. He's abused one of my kids in particular. It has caused all kinds of issues. Like this shit just doesn't end. Life is that way. I nursed my dad to death. I didn't have a great relationship with him. So that in and of itself was an emotionally exhausting deal. We had COVID, right? I still am a single mom of 4 boys on my own, no family here. I moved to Idaho. I didn't know anybody in the city. And I'm telling you, you guys, if I can overcome this, if I can do this, you can do it. You can overcome whatever adversity you're facing in your life. I have dealt with kids that have gone off the frickin' rails when they were potentially going to have to see their dad again. This was a couple years ago. And my oldest son lost his shit, right? Absolutely lost his shit. I seriously was worried for his life every night, waking up, couldn't sleep, listening like, oh my God, hoping every morning, is he going to wake up again? Is he going to wake up? I have dealt with clients who have told me that 2 days before they met me, they were going to commit suicide. They were that hopeless. And you guys, this is what I'm here for. I am here to help you be successful. I am here to help you get over your trials, your tribulations, and for you to operate out of your excellence and your best self and be exactly who God created you to be. We're going to get into, people often say, I have a midlife crisis. It's not a midlife crisis. It's a midlife awakening. We're told from all avenues, social media, radio, TV, our parents, our teachers, religion, everything tells us what we have to be, instead of us being who we were created to be. And so we're going to give you that skill set that you can uncover exactly who you are. If you're struggling with your purpose in life, if you're struggling with the trajectory of your business, if you're struggling with your team, whatever it might be, we're going to give you the skills so that you can be the best. And we want the tagline for Modig Leadership is elevating leaders. And that is exactly what my passion is. Elevate high performers to even better achievements, better goals, better performance, and getting excellence out of everyone. And I lead by example. You guys, that's another huge principle. In fact, I'll tell you this quick story. We'll elaborate into this later, but I'll tell you this quick story. We do this tradition. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we sit around the dining room table and one person is in the hot seat. Well, that one person that's in the hot seat, right? Everybody else around the table goes around and says one thing that they're so grateful for, that they love about this other person, that they appreciate about them, okay? And when it came to me, my oldest, mind you, I just shared with you some of the challenge that I had gone through. He's been the hardest kid so far. Well, that's not true, actually. He put me through the hardest season here recently for him. That's the best way to say that. And that's the accurate way to say that. It was the most challenging season I've ever had with him in the last few years. Now, granted, he's a teenager. He's going through all this. He doesn't have a dad at home. I have to be mom and dad. I mean, just that in and of itself, like the role dynamic of being loving, caring mom and then authoritative, like I've got to step up and like, you've got to listen to me, son, like as a dad, and that masculine energy versus the feminine energy and balancing that. And I'm a type A anyway. So, I can really easily slip into that. And it's not right. It's not right for him to not have a dad. It's not right for him to not see a great example. It's not the best deal, right? And so we're coming off of this season here a little bit where he's finally coming around. He's got his life together. He knows where he's headed. He's got his goals. He's graduating high school with certificates in welding. He's got it figured out, right? Like he's a total tradesman. You put that kid in an office and he would go sideways. He would go batshit crazy in an instant, right? But he's a hands-on worker guy. He gets that from both sides of the family, from my ex-husband and from my dad and all kinds of stuff. He's just bred that way. So here we are, like we've gone through a couple years of this and we're sitting there at Christmas and he says, it's going to make me emotional. It makes me emotional every time. He says to me, Mom, he goes, here's one thing about you that never ever changes. He goes, you are an unwavering leader. And I just looked at him and I was like, holy crap. And he unpacked that for us. And he's like, no matter what we go through, no matter who shits on us, no matter who betrays us, we've had our own family betray us in ways that are just disgusting to me. It's absolutely, utterly disgusting to me that humans can do this to other humans, let alone their own children. But that's a whole other conversation. We can unpack that later. But we have gone through some serious crap, serious levels of betrayal. And he sat there and he said to me, you have never wavered in your leadership to us. And I seriously, it was all I could do to keep my crap together. Full transparency, I didn't keep my crap together. I was bawling. He was bawling. The rest of the kids were tearing up. It was one of the most emotional moments. And the whole reason I share that with you is because we lead by example. We must lead by example. And I invite you to evaluate how you're leading, evaluate how you're operating your life. Take inventory of what is working in your life, what isn't in your life, what things that you want to change, what's holding you back. Do you want to be in the same place today that a year from now that you are today? Is that really what you desire? Is that what you want? If it is what you want, this show, don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't keep track of it, because I push people to their best, and I will not accept mediocrity to be surrounded by me. We have people, our clients, our corporate clients, my individual clients, my personal executive clients, I expect excellence out of them, and they know that they will get it out of me. They know for a fact they're going to get it out of me, and it rises them up to be the best that they can be. And if I am not being my best, I'm not doing my job. And I encourage you and I invite you to operate out of your best. And you guys, listen, if this is something that you're interested in, you're like, yes, this is me, you're raising your hand like, I can't wait to dive in, then this is the show for you. This is the place for you. My people are the people for you, right? We're building a community of phenomenal people. I don't know about you, but when you're operating at a different level, people judge you, they talk about you, they gossip about you. Oh, she doesn't come drinking with us anymore. There's all this gossip, right? They start to whatever, they're pitting uglies against you. You're doing all this ugly stuff, right? And the reality is the reason they're doing that is because you're now a mirror to them. You're holding a mirror up to them saying, I chose differently. I got myself up and out, but you still choose to stay down here in the muck. And people don't like to be shown the crap that they're sitting in, the crap that they're creating. They don't want to take responsibility. Where the hell did responsibility go? Like some of these young kids that are coming out of high school, I hear my kids talk about these kids where they just flat ass out won't accept responsibility. And I'm like, what in the world is happening? You are responsible for you. There's only one thing that you can control, and that's you. That's your mindset, right? You can't even control if you get sick or not, right? Like there's some things that we can and can't control. What you can control is your mindset and how you operate. You cannot control anything else, but you can take radical responsibility for who you are. And like I said, if that's you, if you're eager to do that and you want all the tips, hacks, tricks, you want dialogue, conversation, everything, this is the place for you. And connect with my community. My people are all like-minded. I surround myself with excellent people. And so when you get into my community and you surround yourself with these people, you're surrounding yourself with people that are desiring excellence as well. Okay, so like the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, make sure you share the podcast with people. And I just cannot wait to take this journey with you guys, to dive in really deep. We do all the social media, right? We've got Modic Leadership. There's a bunch of leadership content there. We've got Freedom After Divorce. That's our divorce programs and everything we can offer people and executives and high achievers who want to collapse time. Do you guys know, fun fact, it takes on average 7 years to get over a divorce, and it just does not have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. It was not that way for me. You can bounce back, you can recover, you can get back in the game, and you can get back into life in a healthier, much more fantastic way than what counselors want you to believe. And let me just tell you, like if you're a counselor listening, not sorry. Most traditional, there are rare few counselors, and I have one of them. He is in California and he's friggin' phenomenal, off the charts. Kevin Downing, he's amazing. If you need one, go see Kevin Downing. He's just exceptional. Most counselors keep you on the couch chatting about your past forever and ever and ever. We're here to give you skill sets and tools to get you where you want to go. We're not talking about the past anymore. There's sometimes we got to unpack it and deal with it. There's no question, right? There are sometimes we've got to deal with that. But we are giving you the skill set to expeditiously get you to where you want to be, right? How do I get here? And that's when I had the aha moment in counseling where I was like, I'm so sick and tired of talking about this crap. I want to move on. Tell me how to get there. And that is what all of my content in my curriculum, in my training, in my courses, everything. That's how I've come up with all of that content. It's from reading all the books, studying all the podcasts. We saw 9 different counselors over the course of our marriage that I can remember, right? That's just off the top of my head. So we've done all this stuff, and I compiled all of this to give a skill set that actually gets you up, out, and gets you on your way to excellence much faster in a killer, fun, exciting way. And you guys, there's freedom on the side of this. This is what's so cool. We think, oh my gosh, it's so much work. And listen, you're not going to do the work. Don't stick around here either, because action speaks louder than words, and you must take action. You must take consistent action, and it's not easy. And listen, I don't always take consistent action myself. It's something that we're always going to struggle with as humans until the day we die. And it's something that we get to work toward, and it's something that we get to strive for. And when we have a community around us and people that are equipping us with skill set to do it, we can do that in a killer way. So, like I said, share the podcast, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all the social medias. We've got everything. You can go to my link tree. It's usually _Brenda_Lee. That's where you can find us. You know, I have to compete with that singer, and it's a little difficult. So we had to go with the Brenda Lee, right? So here we are. Welcome to the Brenda Lee Show, episode 1. I can't wait to have you with us. We're going to rock it. We're going to crush it. And we're going to elevate all you leaders to a place that you have never been before.